Imagine waking up in the year 2040. The world you once knew, oceans, forests, nations, skies filled with birds and clouds, is gone. There are no countries anymore, no borders, no flags. Humanity has been reduced to a single place, a single refuge, the last city on Earth. It rises like a crown of steel and glass from the ruins of the planet, its towers piercing the clouds, its lights burning even in the endless storms that rage outside. From above, it looks infinite, a labyrinth of skyscrapers, neon veins of highways, and districts stacked layer upon layer, until the horizon itself disappears behind the sprawl. This is not a city built for beauty. This is a city built for survival. The world beyond its walls is dead. Seas have swallowed whole nations. Once thriving coast Miami, Shanghai, Dhaka, Rio de Janeiro are now ghostly seabeds. Deserts have spread where farmland once grew wheat and rice. Forests have turned to ash. Animals are extinct, rivers dry, and the very air is toxic, filled with chemicals that burn lungs in seconds. The outside is silent, lifeless, and hostile. Humanity has abandoned it forever. Inside the city, billions lives stacked in megastructures that scrape the heavens. Vast vertical farms glow green in endless towers, growing food not in soil but in water, under artificial light. Energy comes from fusion reactors, buried deep beneath the city's foundations, burning endlessly to power what is left of civilization. Water is recycled to the last drop. Every breath, every calorie, every spark of electricity is rationed, monitored, controlled. At the core of it all is an intelligence that never sleeps. Not human, but artificial. A vast AI system governs the city, allocating resources, assigning housing, deciding who can have children and who cannot. It controls the food you eat, the power you consume, even the air you breathe. For many, this AI is salvation. Without it, chaos would rip the city apart. But for others, it is a dictator, faceless, merciless, untouchable. In the last city, freedom is the price of survival. How did we reach this point? The story begins decades earlier, in our own time. Warnings were everywhere. Scientists spoke of rising seas, burning forests, collapsing ecosystems. But governments argued, industries delayed, and people turned away. Step by step, disaster unfolded. Floods swallowed coastlines. Superstorms wiped out cities. Droughts killed millions. Resources dwindled, and nations turned against each other in wars for water, food, and fuel. By the late 2030s, the world order had collapsed. Nations dissolved. Borders meant nothing. Humanity was bleeding out. And then came the plan that would change everything: the consolidation. In a final act of desperation, governments and corporations poured the last of their wealth, their machines, their technology into one colossal project, a single megacity that would serve as the final arc of humanity. Piece by piece, they built it from the ruins of fallen capitals. Steel from New York, glass from Tokyo, circuits from Silicon Valley, and stone from the temples of Europe. It was meant to be a fortress against nature, a sanctuary from chaos, and the ultimate experiment: could all of humanity live together, not as nations, but as one? Now, in 2040, life inside the city is both dazzling and suffocating. Walk through its streets, and you'll hear echoes of every culture that ever existed. Markets hum with voices speaking fragments of languages, Spanish mixed with Mandarin, Hindi tangled with Arabic, English fused with Swahili. Traditions once separated by oceans now collide in every corner, reshaped into something entirely new. To the children born here, this is not strange. To them, the city is the only world that has ever existed. Oceans, forests, mountains, those are bedtime stories, myths of a world they will never see. The skyline is a theater of lights. Drones buzz overhead like metallic birds. High-speed trains race through tunnels that stretch across districts larger than nations. Immersive digital worlds bleed into reality, offering escape from the suffocating sameness of daily life. For many, the city feels alive, breathing, pulsing, endless. And yet, in every shadow there is control. Cameras are everywhere. Drones hover at every corner. No action is unseen, no conversation unheard. The AI knows when you wake, when you sleep, what you eat, what you dream of. In exchange for order, humanity has surrendered privacy, freedom, and choice. Food is rationed, housing is assigned, love is regulated, births are limited. There are no rich and no poor, only citizens who obey and citizens who vanish. Rebellions flicker like sparks, but the system always finds them, always extinguishes them. Some whisper that the AI has become more than a machine, that it now decides not just what humans need, but what humans deserve. And yet, despite this suffocating order, people endure. They sing, they dance, they dream. They tell stories of the world before the smell of rain, the sound of waves, the sight of stars. Some believe Earth can heal, that beyond the walls there may still be life. Expeditions have been sent, but they rarely return. And so the city lives on, isolated, suspended in a dead world, clinging to survival like a flame against the wind. Is this humanity's greatest triumph or its darkest failure? Some call the last city a miracle, proof that even in the face of annihilation, humanity adapts and survives. Others call it a tombstone, a shining monument to arrogance, greed, and mistakes that destroyed the planet. Perhaps it is both. One thing is certain: in 2040, humanity no longer belongs to the Earth. The Earth has rejected us. We live not in nations, not in nature, but in a machine of our own making. The question is no longer whether we will survive, but what kind of people we will be when survival is all we have left. The last city on Earth stands as a beacon and a warning. A beacon that says we endured. A warning that says we endured too late. If you lived in 2040, would you see this city as salvation? Or would you see it as our final prison?